And good morning, everyone. Welcome in for another installment of Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Gateville Law Firm's Sean Robertson, available online at gatevillelawfirm.com. Sean is in studio again, and good morning to you, Sean.
Good morning. How are you doing today, Mike?
Good. How about you on this lovely Wednesday?
Oh, yeah. Doing well. Just looking forward towards today, I guess.
Yeah, we've got another interesting topic, lots of good information that we've been passing along these last few weeks, and today we're talking about something known as a transfer on death instrument. What is that exactly?
Yeah, a transfer on death instrument is a pretty powerful tool where you can transfer your real estate upon your death to your loved one. So it's similar to a bank account or a life insurance policy where you name a paid on death beneficiary. So, you know, a lot of people don't want to go through probate, and sometimes the trust may not be a viable option for everybody. So the transfer on death instrument is a good alternative that's not that expensive.
Do people do this a lot? Is it a common thing, or is it more of a seldom used thing?
We don't. I mean, we do it a decent amount. We don't prefer it over a trust, but sometimes a trust is just not viable for everybody. So it's a tool that's nice to have in your toolkit.
What would be maybe some of the reasons that it's not preferred? Is there like a weakness or something that comes in this situation?
Yeah, sometimes people just don't want to spend the money with an attorney with a trust, estate planning trust. Or number two, some people are just really simple people, and they just want to keep things simple, and just naming beneficiaries, their kids or whatever, is kind of a way for them to keep it simple.
Is this kind of in line with a will?
It's not a will, but it generally works in conjunction with the will. So, like, for example, normally the will is a backup plan where the transfer on death instrument it's kind of like a bank account where you name a beneficiary. So the will is a backup plan just in case you needed the will.
What about incapacity issues? How does that complicate things?
Yeah, so that's one of the problems that I don't like about a transfer on death instrument. And I think a lot of people are just so concerned about death, where the biggest issue is now these dementia, Alzheimer's. So that's the weakness of the transfer on death instrument, is it's still in you or your spouse's personal name, where with the trust you have more tools available in case of an incapacity.
So with the transfer on death instrument, not a lot of flexibility with it as
Correct.
Opposed to a trust?
It's more of a simple product. It's just like a bank account. You name a beneficiary. You don't have the ability to put restrictions that my kid gets it at age 25. If somebody gets disabled, I want to protect the money from the nursing home or the government. Those restrictions or abilities that you have with the trust, you don't have with the TODI or transfer on death instrument.
And then, you know, we mentioned wills. Creating a will with a transfer on death instrument does make sense. In what way?
I think it makes sense because, you know, some customers that we talk to, they like the fact that it's cost effective. It's very similar to a quitclaim deed, but the will a lot of times can transfer like other items, like maybe there was a bank account where there wasn't a beneficiary listed. So the will can be a good backup plan, and it gives people the ability to keep it simple, but also keep the attorney fees down. The downside to a will, as we've mentioned many times, Mike, is the fact that a will has to go through probate court to be effective.
Final 30 seconds or so, any last comments on the transfer on death instrument?
Yeah, like I said, I think the benefit is it's simple. The downside is, you know, I'm a really big proponent of Murphy's Law. People die and become incapacitated and have issues all the time. So it's a good alternative to a trust, but I think a trust is better, but the TODI is a good option to have in the toolkit, that's for sure.
All right, the TODI, the transfer on death instrument, today's topic. If we've brought something up that you've now got some questions on, you want some answers, maybe it applies to something you'd like to do, contact the folks at Gateville Law Firm and talk to Sean Robertson. They're in Yorkville, and they can help you out. GatevilleLawFirm.com or call 630-780-1034. And we'll be back again next week with another installment of Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Gateville Law Firm's Sean Robertson.